Welcome to the second week of class. This movie will be about the different agents of socialization. For example, the family is an agent of socialization. There are also many different types of families today.
So behind us represents the family, but I represent the peer group. That is another agent of socialization.
Yes, good work. There are many other institutions such as medical, workplace, and school. These all play a role in shaping us into the person we become.
Cool. And from our readings, I also read about the different developmental theories. I don't really get Freud, though.
Freud was referred to as the father of psychoanalysis. His main ideas have to do with the terms id, ego, and superego. The id is like the part of us that is pleasure-seeking and impulsively wants things for immediate gratification. The ego is our reality check and the part of us that mediates between the id and superego. The superego is more like a parent that does not want us to get into trouble and please others.
That helps me understand a bit better. But what about Erikson?
Erikson, I really like his philosophy. I like him so much because it makes sense as we move through the ages and stages. Now I'll get back to the topic. Erikson developed 8 stages of socialization. The first one has to do with an infant developing trust. It is called trust versus mistrust. If an infant can count on his or her mom and dad, he or she will develop trust and move on to the next stage, which is autonomy versus shame and doubt. This is where the toddler begins to become independent and says no a lot. Parental boundaries are important, but it is also important to allow a child to explore and take measures to be independent. The next stage is initiative versus guilt. This is the preschool age. Making up stories, role-playing and creating possibilities. If they don't meet the parents' expectations, they might become guilty and feel frustrated. Next comes the school-aged child. This is the industry versus inferiority. It is so important in this stage for a person to feel competent and successful in something. This could be in sports, school, art, and other areas of success.
So I could imagine a parent would want to help the child explore their interests as much as possible in this stage.
Exactly. In adolescence, a person moves through the identity versus role confusion stage. This is when the question, "Who am I?" gets answered. When we get about 18, we go through the intimacy versus isolation stage. Generativity versus stagnation follows. This is when one may struggle to find meaning in life or may stay the same, thus stagnation occurs. Lastly is integrity versus despair. This is in late adulthood and is the end-of-life realization of one's accomplishments or failures.
Thanks for explaining them to me. I think I understand why he's your favorite.
Yes. I have one more to cover. Jean Piaget is the last theorist I am going to cover, although there are others. Piaget created the sensorimotor, babies, stage where babies experience the world through their senses, being held, touching things, being sung to, and other uses of their senses. The preparational stage is around age 2 and is where the toddler learns language and that symbols represent things. Santa Claus is an example of the fantasy play that occurs at this stage. The concrete operational stage is between the ages of 7 and 11. Children begin to use logic and they are able to think abstractly.
Wow. There is a lot to learn about a child's development. I know that we also are influenced by gender and culture as well.
Yes. It is time to end the movie, but if you have any questions about our readings for the week, please feel free to ask in the Ask Your Instructor section of class. Have fun this week and see you in class.
Goodbye and see you in class.